to Our Life Beginnings, and always we are here nearing the end, I think, of the game, since it's stating that it's our last day in Sunset Bird, so I don't know how much more content there is, but here we are. The only thing you had planned was some family time in the old neighborhood. You figured you'd see where the day took you from there. Yawning again, you glanced over at your clothes. There was just one more day to live out of your bag. I'm really looking forward to having my full wardrobe again. I don't have anything clean left, but oh well. Hey Cove, is there anything you'd like to see me in today? Oh, that's cute. You slowly started sorting through the pile for something to put on. I think I would ask Cove. Alright, let's get things going. Our families are waiting. Nodding, you and Cove swiftly finished getting ready in a small hotel room. As soon as you had your stuff together and were ready to go, you were off. What did he pick for me? What choice was that? During the ride there, you and Cove decided to visit his dad's house first this time. When you got dropped off, Cove eagerly hopped out into the street with his eyes locked on his father's condo. Your gaze fell on your boyfriend. He stood in the middle of the street where you grew up together while the summer sun made him shine. Though he was the brightest light in your eyes no matter what. I mean, he's pretty cute. Pretty cute. It was a beautiful thing. You knew you had to propose before you left Sunset Bird once more. Why do I have to do it? I want to wait for him to do it. Your girl has been initiating everything. It was a beautiful thing. Imagine me not choosing means me not getting married. You wouldn't give up on a single second of your time with Cove. Meeting him there, you were looking forward to how today's chapter would unfold. Cove strode up to his old front door and casually flung it open without bothering to knock once again. You followed at his side as he poked his head in. You closed the door behind you both. Hello? You found Cliff and Kyra in the kitchen getting breakfast ready. Kyra was cutting an apple while Cliff was watching a frying pan sizzle. Cove's parents waved from across the room, not straying from their tasks. Good morning, you two. Yeah, morning and hello to you. I hope you slept well.
Thanks.
Thanks for swinging by. You're more than welcome to join us for breakfast here, if you haven't eaten it, of course. We haven't yet, though even if we had, there's always room for more. Kyra chuckled. She put down the knife she had in her hand so that all her attention could be on her son. You're still my giant growing baby boy. Mom, please. Kyra didn't pay Cove's whining any mind. Instead, she put a finger up to her lip as she thought, her eyes on you and then glimpsing towards a window. Put my phone, don't disturb my bed. I wonder, do you think your family's eaten yet, Michiko? No clue. I haven't checked in with them yet. You gotta be the first stop. Your eyes flicked over to the clock on their oven. Given the time, your moms may have eaten, or they could have been having a slower morning. It was a coin toss either way. Well, give them a call. They could come over. Cove nodded, a sage expression on his face. Making the breakfast is the least we could do after how much food I ate at their house growing up.
Right.
True, bud. Very true. Alright. You took out your phone even though your moms both had cells for years. The house number was the one that you had memorized as a kid, and the first entry on your contacts list. As the call connected, you tapped the speaker button. You figured it would be easier if everyone could hear what was going on.
Hello.
Oops, I didn't read the prior. You heard a click and a familiar static.
Hello.
Hello, Michiko. It's nice to hear from you. Hey, Ma. Guess who's currently across the street in the kitchen full of food and an invitation to share what said food. You waited a beat. It's me. I'm at the Holdens, and they wanted to invite you and everyone over to eat with us. What do you say? That sounds delightful. Pamela and I can do that. Liz and Lee should be able to make it too. Would that be fine? Cliff took a step forward and spoke loudly so that his voice would be picked up. It definitely would be. The more the merrier. We may have gotten together for dinner last night, but there's no law that we can't do it again for breakfast today. Enjoy the company while you can is what I think. Ma giggled and you could hear some rustling over the line. Thank you. I'll let them know and we'll be right over. Cliff gave a thumbs up. Ko shook his head with amusement. Dad just gave a thumbs up. I'm telling you since you can't see him over the phone. Kara snorted and Ma's laughter rang out, filling the kitchen. Cliff switched a thumbs up hand to instead of scratch at the back of his head.
See you.
Well, it sounds like we'll see you soon. Goodbye for a little while. You could feel her smile from her voice. Bye, Mom. This made me a little sad. Because, it made me realize, when she said they had dinner last night and they had breakfast in the morning. Imagine if we could, all go on, a family vacation again as them being grown up. Because I feel like as the older you get, that's, the things you cherish more, which is to spend more time with the people you love and, creating memories, exploring new places. At least that's what I wish I could do currently. He ended the call with a satisfying tap of the red button. Cliff's eyes wandered around the space. We better get cooking.
Sounds good.
Just tell me what we're making. No way, your guess. Kyra and I have got this. She grinned. There was something playful in the twist of her lips. I I couldn't have said it better myself, Cliff. I've been near your spot before. There's no choice but to accept it. Cliff sighed, but from the sparkle from his eyes, you could see that he was entertained. Fine, we'll just hang out over here, I guess. Good. Cove walked over to the living room and gestured at the couch. They both took a seat, getting a comfortable spot to wait for food and family. Cove tilted towards his parents with his chin and shook his head with a gentle smile, and silently asking if he could believe this. All he had was a silent shrug. Time passed, filled with light chatting. Cove kept a careful watch on his parents' culinary progress and teasingly kept a running commentary. Oh, Dad added another pinch of salt. I wonder if it was a good idea. Cliff had to raise his voice to project over to the living room. He sounded very amused. It's funny that you, of all people, are commenting on my salt usage. We were both born and raised in saltwater. Besides, I'm sure you remember back when you were about 12 and trying to make Cove flush slightly, but his smile remained as bright as ever. Do you really want to start talking about cooking mistakes, Dad? Because I remember a lot of things too. Like, what about that chowder that was supposed to be a pie? Wait, what? That would be one mushy pie. Cove and his family were quite a show to listen to. He chimed in occasionally, but mostly he provided the laugh track. Eventually, there was a rhythmic knock on the door. That's them. He said it loudly for his parents' benefit. He nodded and got up to greet your family. When he opened the door, surprisingly, there were no moms. What the fuck? Wait, our friends are here too? Terry stood in front with Miranda at his side, Derek way from behind them. Yo, it's so great to see all of them. Goddamn Derek. I really hope he found a girlfriend. Hey buddies, we came to see you two before you left. The plan would have been to go over to Michiko's house next if you weren't here. Luckily, you two aren't too hard to find. What he said, and hi. Cove burst into happy laughter. His brows were high in surprise, not unlike how he looked after unwrapping a nice present. Oh, thanks for coming. Hello. Kara's voice carried through the house from the kitchen. Cliff likewise projected. Great, the whole gang will be here. Wait, did they already suspect that these three will also be here? You heard the sound of a cabinet open and shut, a pan clatter, and the faucet turned on.
Are we interrupting something?
No. You're joining a breakfast party. My parents, sister, and cousin are coming over. We actually thought that you were them when you knocked. Yep, but my dad always makes a ton of food anyway. It's no problem for you guys to join. Cove waved off their concerns before pausing with a thoughtful hum. The only real problem is, do we have enough places for all these people to sit? He peered back into the house and started counting dining room table chairs and bar stools. 5, 6... Cliff interrupted when Cove began to try and use his fingers to connect the different chairs to different gas.
No worries.
Some people can squish together on sofas. It'll be fine. This really is going to be a party. Well, I'd be happy to accept the invitation.
Yeah.
You'd have to be crazy to skip out on this.
Thanks.
Thank you for making room. We're really glad that you came. I mean, there's enough. Listen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm assuming this could fit like 14 people in total. I'm too lazy to do the math, but I'm assuming there's enough. Your three friends finally piled into the house before they had a chance to settle and the doorbell rang. Only Miranda had sat down. Now that has to be them. People laughed as he walked back over to the door and opened it up. Alright. Okay, so this is like 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's plenty of chairs. I spit. Sorry about that. It was right this time. It was your parents, Liz and Lee, all crowded on the front steps. They squinted into the house. Squinted? And were surprised at just how many greetings were said. The sheer force of the chorus of hellos was impressive.
What?
How did they beat us here? How early did Michiko call you? We're literally across the street. Terry stared at your sister's confusion. He seemed quite pleased with himself. We were surprised. We called ourselves.
Cool.
Very cool. Cliff smirked as he adjusted the settings on the stovetop. It's a little more crowded than I expected, but we're making it work. Cliff led the final group to complete the picture and said they took the chance to greet you along with everyone else. When the excited energy buzzing around the table started to calm, you had a second to truly appreciate this view. The most important people in your life all together again. It still felt too good to be true to have everyone here. And then you noticed that Kyra stood back up. She clapped her hands at once in a satisfying smack. I hate to interrupt, but I thought you'd want to know that the food's done cooking. Cliff crossed the floor to place a pile of silverware on the table, and then he dropped stuff off on the other surfaces around the rest of the living room. When he was done, he gestured towards the food.
Okay.
The plates are in the kitchen. Serve yourselves and sit wherever you like. The guests happily formed a line. The meal was steadily passed around. Before long, each person claimed a seat in the Holden living room area. Some at the table, others on the kitchen island, and some just situated at the couches. Conversations trickled across the various clusters of friends as everyone's dug in. Cole finished his plate in record time with a pleased sigh. He put his fork down and surveyed the room. This is really cool. Just how we're getting to do this kind of thing. I like this too, Cove. I hope we'll be able to make this happen again. Of course, there will always be more reasons to get the gang back together in the future. This is making me so depressed because, like, as the parents are getting older, eventually they won't be there at the table and stuff like that. And it'll be up to the children to, you know, to gather and, like, hang out as a family and such like that. Ugh, that sounds so depressing. The two of you might even dare to celebrate your yearly anniversary, gasp, every year. The smirk on Liz's face grew only wider as your mom giggled at her teasing, while shook her head, chuckling softer now.
True.
Honestly, we just might. You made a good point. It does come around every year. You should. Seriously, you deserve a big celebration for your magical day. The kids are right. You've got a lot of power. A lot of power. A lot of people who want to appreciate you. You've gotta give them a chance. It's true. I know I have a lot to thank you for. There were more nods of agreement around the room, and your moms took each other's hand for support. Neither were expecting so much encouragement. I mean, look at my family. They were fucking beautiful. I was about to yawn, and I caught myself. We'll think about it. She'll think about it. I'll let Lonnie to stop thinking so hard if she doesn't agree. Pam. Good job, Mom. Now with that settled, let us continue to enjoy this perfect gathering. Agreed. Actually, you want to know who else being here would make this extra perfect? Who? We have so many other people. Like, Baxter, Shiloh, Jeremy. I want to see what this is meant for. As amazing as this was, you can help but think of absent faces. In seconds, everyone curiously turned their attention to you. Jeremy! He wasn't really part of the thing, though. Baxter was later half. Shiloh was later half as well. Let's just say Jeremy, because, you know, I like Jeremy out of these three. A small chuckle escaped Cole before his lips curled into a bent smile. He shook his head slightly while he studied you in disbelief.
I guess.
You know, he would hate this. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if Jeremy was actually here. Snickering, your cheeks hurt from grinning so wide. You could easily imagine how vocally annoyed Jeremy would be, sitting among all your friends and family. It was amazing that despite the twists and turns life threw in your direction, you still kept in touch with that angry little boy you met one summer a long time ago. Somehow the universe brought you both together again as teens, and since then, you continued talking on and off for the past 5 years. Ah, have I? You appreciate the occasions that you got to check in with him. Since becoming an adult, his personality had gone through a few more changes. Jeremy was definitely still downcast and dry, but he got back some of that fighting spirit he had as a kid. Smiling to yourself, you felt that things kind of came around full circle that way. His negative attitude aside, Jeremy did well for himself. He was going to graduate from a well-respected business university very soon. You're genuinely happy for him. And as much as he protested the very notion, you're pretty sure that Jeremy was going to end up going back home and helping his parents run their small hobby shop. Leaning back in your seat, you're pleased with the suggestion. Derek scratched his cheek with an amused chuckle.
I swear.
It's so unreal that you did become friends with that mean kid. Talk about a comeback for the ages. It's historic. Giggling, you thought about how Derek and Jeremy only ever met in person that one summer years and years ago. But because you had a continued relationship with both, you kept them informed on each other. While Jeremy couldn't muster up any care about what was going on with his old acquaintance, Derek was always morbidly intrigued by the latest Jeremy updates. You're more than happy to oblige. There's no way Jeremy would agree that any of us are friends. Pran is still the only one who gets that honor. Incredible. Being people he's decently familiar with is still close enough when it comes to Jeremy. Yeah. Shiloh is another person I would have met, and it is too bad. Oh, so we can actually mention everyone that we haven't seen, which is nice, because I haven't seen them in a while. What save am I on? 21, 22, 23. Okay, I'm on 23. But this is where we're gonna end today's episode off. I'm really hoping that Cove is gonna ask us the question, or did I just fuck it up and miss my chance of being a fiance? I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I will see you guys in the next one.